Good day. And thank you for attending today's webinar hosted on behalf of Tourism Australia. I'm speaking on behalf of the 6 states and 2 territories in Australia. I am Brianna McCarthy. I am Tourism Australia's Aussie Specialist Trainer for the West Coast US. You're probably wondering, what's an Aussie Specialist Trainer? Well, an Aussie Specialist Trainer is here to tell you about the Aussie Specialist Program. It is our free, I'll repeat that, our free online training program. You go to aussiespecialist.com, and it is all about helping you sell Australia, as well as has some tools and resources for how you can also get down and see Australia. So the Aussie Specialist Program, to complete it and be a qualified Aussie Specialist, you're required to do a total of 5 modules. The first 3 modules everybody must complete. That would be Selling Australia, Australian Highlights, and Australian Itineraries. And then the second half, the other 2 modules that are required, you get your choice. So you could do a module that is specific to a state or a territory, like Queensland, if you wanted to learn more about Queensland, or if there's a special interest, like luxury lodges or cruising in Australia. And then once you become a qualified Aussie Specialist, you unlock the benefits of aussiespecialist.com. So I'll highlight a few of those benefits, but there's many more than what I'm going to discuss. First off, there is the Travel Club. So the Travel Club is where you would find industry-only discounts. So perhaps maybe you want to plan your own trip to Australia and want to take advantage of travel industry discounts. So you can sort and filter based off of where it is that you'll be visiting. Maybe you're going to New South Wales, to the city of Sydney. You can sort and filter out the offers, the buy one, get one frees, or discounts on hotels or rental cars. Another benefit of the Aussie Specialist Program is that we have over 100 different sample itineraries on our website. So with 100, that's quite a bit, but you can sort and filter them. So perhaps your clients are doing maybe just a 3-day post visit after a cruise. You can sort and filter out all the 3-day itineraries or a full 14-day itinerary. You can also sort and filter by destination. So maybe they're going to the state of Victoria to go to the city of Melbourne. You can sort and filter all of the itineraries that include Victoria. Another benefit of the Aussie Specialist Program for completing and qualifying is that you have access to our Aussie store. So this is where you would find all of our free marketing materials that are available to you that you can order, and we will ship to you for free. So as you can see from the screen, we have many things listed on there. We have brochures, we have posters if you want to decorate your office with pictures of all the iconic Australian sites. And I brought 2 items in particular with me here today. The first would be our visitor's map. So this is a great item to include perhaps in your client's final documents. Maybe they're self-driving in Australia. It's got all the roadways and the highways on it, and you can order this for free. We'll send them to you. Also, a fun thing to include in the final documents would be an Aussie slang dictionary, so you can learn how to talk like an Australian. Another one of the items that you can order for free. And all of these things are great to have on hand if you're meeting in person with a client, or if you're attending maybe a travel show and you want to have some materials at your booth. Now, before I get into all the fun things and to tell you all about what you can see and do in Australia, I'd like to talk about the Australian bushfires, because I'm sure, as you are all aware, it was widely covered in the media, the bushfires in Australia. Now, obviously, it was a devastating events there, but we would like to put it all into perspective. The first thing to understand is that Australia is a very large country. So as you can see from this graphic here, it's approximately the same size as the United States. So as an example, if there was an earthquake in California, that wouldn't stop your clients from visiting New York City. So same thing, if the fires that were in New South Wales shouldn't stop your clients from visiting other places such as the Great Barrier Reef, or perhaps Western Australia, Perth. Now, in response to the bushfires, Tourism Australia, on our consumer site, australia.com, has a lot of great tools and resources. So one thing in particular would be the map that you're looking at here. This is an interactive map when you go to the website, and all of the green dots represent the areas that are not impacted. And this was as of yesterday. So some of the areas that were partially impacted, and then only one in particular that is still impacted. So this is updated daily, and it's a great resource for you as well as your clients to see how much of Australia has not been impacted by the fires. Other resources on Australia.com would be a section about the facts. So on that same page with the interactive map I just showed you, there are also a couple of different charts which have all of the different states and territories in Australia listed, as well as cities and major destinations for tourists, and it will have more detail as to whether or not those places have been impacted or if they're open. Also, we have some great safety information as well as some resources for how you can help. But the number one way that you and your clients can help and support Australia is to continue to visit Australia. That is our big messaging, is that Australia is open for business. It is open for visitors. And the sooner you can visit and support those businesses, the quicker Australia can recover from those bushfires. So I'm going to play for you a short video that Tourism Australia has recently produced, which we will be spreading into the market to try to get that message out that Australia is open for visitors.
Australia has gone through a real tough time.
People have suffered significant losses, but there's an amazing sense of communities just banding together.
We're so grateful for all the support and donations that we've had, and now the next thing you can do is come and visit us, come and support us.
All around Australia we've got amazing landscapes and people for you to come and meet.
Our doors are open and we'd love to see you.
I hope you all enjoyed that video, and like I said, we will be spreading that message that Australia is open for business. If your clients also want to make donations to help the bushfire relief effort, there's a great list of charities that have been endorsed by the Prime Minister, and the link that you're looking at right now is also linked through Australia.com. And some new things that we will be starting soon are some conservation action days. So in particular, what you're looking at here is an itinerary for a commissionable product. There are Australian wildlife journeys, and these are going to be taking place this summer in July and August, and it's going to have a variety of different ways for your clients to not only get out there and kind of volunteer, but also to be able to experience the local area. Also, if you are in Denver or Chicago, Seattle, San Diego, New York, Boston, or San Francisco, or Toronto up in Canada, we will be doing some in-market industry updates. So with all of the key messaging, as well as our future plans for how to continue to promote travel and to spread the message that Australia is open for visitors. And if you would like to attend one of these industry updates, please, you're more than welcome to join us. Please email me at bmccarthy@tourism.australia.com, and then I can send you over the RSVP link. And now I would like to get into a little bit of the inspirational part of today's webinar so that you can learn more about Australia and get some ideas for all the great things you can do down there. So why Australia? Well, if your clients come to you and say, I love that fabulous trip you planned for me, where should I go next? And you tell them you should go to Australia, the response may be, why Australia? Well, why Australia? Because there's nothing like Australia. So kind of the key 4 reasons why there's nothing like Australia would be the wildlife, the culture, the natural beauty, and the food and drink. And I'm going to go through each one of these and give you some of those ideas as to why. Our wildlife, in particular, 84% of our wildlife occurs nowhere else in the world. So kangaroos, quokkas, platypus, you're going to find them in Australia. In particular, in Kakadu National Park, which is located in the Northern Territory, this is where 1/3 of Australia's bird species can be found. So if you have clients that are really into birding, like to take photos of them and see rare birds, you should definitely incorporate Kakadu National Park in their itinerary. The Eyre Peninsula. This is in South Australia, and whale watching is definitely something that can be done in a variety of places in Australia. But the reason why the Eyre Peninsula I'm bringing to your attention today is because it is in South Australia, and an area that was recently impacted by the wildfires was Kangaroo Island. And the Eyre Peninsula was not near Kangaroo Island, so it's very much open and available for your clients to come, and one of the iconic things to do would be to go whale watching. Now, the island state of Tasmania. So if you look at the graphic closely, the island state of Tasmania, it claims to be having some of the cleanest air in the world. It's known as a green state, and the Tasmanian devil is the only place in the world on the island of Tasmania where it can be found in the wild. Now, the Tasmanian devil, they are nocturnal animals, so it is a good idea if your clients really want to see a Tasmanian devil, instead of having them kind of hunt around at night for them, just to book them an experience at an animal sanctuary. But the only place where they can be found in the wild would be in Tasmania. Now, in the state of Victoria, Victoria's capital city is Melbourne. About 90 minutes outside of Melbourne is a place called Phillip Island. And an experience you can book for your clients is called the Nightly Penguin Parade. So these little guys here, they are the world's smallest penguins. And during the day, they're out fishing in the ocean. And when the sun goes down, their birds of prey go home for the night. And these little penguins feel safe to walk out on shore and to go find their burrows for the evening. It's a natural occurrence, and one night 100 penguins could come out, and the next night a couple hundred penguins. But you can book your clients a variety of different packages for viewing the Nightly Penguin Parade. Crocodiles. So these are known as the dinosaurs of Australia because they've been in Australia for thousands of years. And one of the main places that you can send your clients to see crocodiles would be up in tropical North Queensland. And they are fierce creatures. So it's a good idea to perhaps book them a visit to one of the different parks that have crocodiles, and they can interact with them by seeing them being fed or go on a little boat cruise to see them swimming around. Now, another reason why there's nothing like Australia is our culture. Everything from modern day art to the Aboriginal culture. As you will see from this picture here, the Aboriginal people date back over 50,000 years. It's one of the world's oldest continuously surviving cultures, and a great way to experience that would be to view some of their rock art. Or if your clients are more into contemporary art, when they are in Brisbane, the capital city of Queensland, they can go and visit GOMA, that's the Gallery of Modern Arts. If your clients are in the Northern Territory, they can go to the Topditch Cultural Centre, and they can have a painting lesson with a local Aboriginal guide, and it's a full experience. So it's not just about painting, but they can listen to a didgeridoo being played, they can learn how to throw a spear, and also purchase art that has been made from the local Aboriginal community. Or if your clients are visiting Canberra, Canberra is the nation's capital city. So similar to our Washington, D.C., their city is called Canberra. And at the National Gallery of Art, there is a variety of different art here, from Australian art, but they also have the largest collection of Aboriginal arts. Or if your clients are visiting the city of Sydney, this is Auntie Margaret. She is a local Aboriginal guide for Dreamtime Southern X, and she's standing below the Sydney Harbour Bridge. But she will take your clients on a walking tour of that area, talk about its Aboriginal roots, and she'll also do a traditional welcome to country ceremony. Now, another reason why there's nothing like Australia is because of our food and our drink. If your clients are visiting Melbourne, if they're into coffee, or if they're not into coffee, they should definitely experience Melbourne's cafe scene. They love their espresso-based drinks in Australia. And they have a language all of their own for ordering. They can order a long black or a flat white, a piccolo or a magic. And it's not just about the coffee, but it's also about the environment they're consuming it in. There's all these great alleyways and laneways that have great outdoor murals and artwork. And a really fun way to experience this would be to book them on a walking tour with a guide that can take them to a variety of different cafes and to talk about the stories behind them and even speak to the art that you're walking past. Now, Australia is wine country. They have over 65 different wine regions. I stress that that's 65 regions, which means there's no endless amount of wine that can be tasted and experienced in Australia. One place that I'll highlight would be in the state of South Australia in the Barossa Valley. And at the Seppelsfield Winery, they can taste a wine from their birth year because the Barossa is known for having some of the world's oldest vines. So no matter how old or young your clients might be, or perhaps they're there celebrating a special anniversary, they can taste a wine from this year. Now, the Sydney Harbour, it is iconic, and a great way to experience that would be during a dinner cruise. And this photo in particular, it's all brightly lit. It was taken during the annual Vivid Sydney Festival that occurs every single year during the month of May. And this is a festival where the city comes to life with lights and arts and culture, discussion. It's a very festive time to be in the city, and you can get a good view of all of that, all of the festivities from a dinner cruise in the Sydney Harbour. Now, the Margaret River region in Western Australia, located about a 3-hour drive from the capital city of Perth, the Margaret River is known for having some of Australia's premium wine. They produce about 1/5 of Australians' premium wine in the Margaret River. But the Margaret River is located on the coast, so it's not just about having fabulous wine and pairing it with amazing local food, but there's also a variety of other activities you can do there. There's beautiful sunsets over their west-facing beaches. You can go hiking. You can go mountain biking. There's even caves that you can tour through. So it's a great place for wine aficionados as well as for any sort of outdoor enthusiast. Now, there's also nothing like Australia because of our natural beauty. As you can see from this photo, Australia, it's a floating continent, so it's 37,000 miles of beautiful coastline. And speaking of coastline, one of the most iconic places to see that coastline would be from Bondi Beach. Now, Bondi Beach is considered one of Sydney's city beaches. It's only about 20 minutes outside of the center of Sydney. And your clients can take a surf lesson, or they can visit Icebergs Club, which is what you're looking at right here. That's an outdoor ocean pool. It's open to the public. Or even if your clients don't swim, they can also just dine at the restaurant at Icebergs Club and to enjoy the amazing ocean views. Another great place to see beautiful coastal ocean views would be in the state of Victoria. The capital city is Melbourne. So if your clients are visiting Melbourne, they can drive or they can ride along the Great Ocean Road. It's a 2-lane highway. It's right on the coast, and one of the iconic things they can see is the 12 Apostles, which is what you're looking at right now. Now, of course, everybody knows that Australia is known for its Great Barrier Reef, and this is in the state of Queensland, and there's no endless ways that you can experience the Great Barrier Reef. So you can snorkel, you can scuba dive. I highly recommend taking a helicopter flight over it. It's something I recently did, and it may be cheesy to say, but it really did take my breath away. It brought tears to my eyes to see the vastness and the beauty of the Great Barrier Reef. So even if your clients don't swim or they don't want to get their feet wet, there's also ways to see and experience the Great Barrier Reef. Now on the other side of Australia, so opposite the Great Barrier Reef, is Ningaloo Reef, and this is located in Western Australia. What's interesting about the Ningaloo Reef, it's a fringing reef. So if you don't know what that means, basically a fringing reef is you can walk directly out from the beach, from the shore, and you can be swimming and snorkeling among the reef. In contrast to the Great Barrier Reef, which is an outer reef, so you would need to take a boat or a flight, a helicopter over to that reef. But so that's what makes the Ningaloo Reef unique, is that you can just walk directly out from the shore. And that critter that you're looking at there, he might look small on your screen, but he is not. He is a whale shark, but don't worry, we like to say no teeth, no worries. So he may be called a shark, but he only feeds on plankton. He does not eat people, and that is why when they are migrating through the Ningaloo Reef, you can go swimming with the whale sharks. And now that I have inspired you and got you excited about selling Australia, and you want to learn more about Australia, perhaps you want to visit Australia, you want to send your clients to Australia, please complete that Aussie Specialist training. It is a free online program I mentioned to you earlier. Go to aussiespecialist.com, and if you do so before March 31st, that's approximately gives you 2 months to do so, send me an email and I will send you an Aussie gift pack. Most people are probably wondering, well, how long will it take me to complete this training? Well, like I mentioned, you have to complete 5 modules, and on average it'll take you maybe 30 minutes to do each module. Luckily, we have 5 working days in the week, so just take 1 module each day on your lunch break, and if you start on Monday, you'll be qualified by Friday, and you can unlock all the benefits of the program. Another benefit of the program is that you have a dedicated team here in North America. So here on the West Coast, where I'm giving this presentation, we've got Liam, myself, I've got my arms stretched out. I just climbed the Story Bridge in Brisbane, Australia. That's Karen, she's over on the East Coast, so if you attend any of our trainings or in-person events, you might meet Karen. And then Brandon, he's in our office. He's working on the back end. He's scheduling all of our newsletters and helping with our webinars that we conduct monthly. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed today's webinar. Hopefully you've learned something new. You know that Australia is still open for business, still open and more than willing and enthusiastic to receive and welcome your clients to Australia.
Okay, perfect. We have some questions today.
Okay.
First question is, as an Australian agent, can we do the training program on your website?
Yes, the Aussie Specialist program is actually available worldwide. So travel sellers in China or in New Zealand, they also are allowed to complete the Aussie Specialist training. It's for anyone who is a frontline travel seller for trips to Australia.
Perfect. Next question. Where is the most popular destination to fly into?
Well, from North America, I would have to say we have the most flights that are flying nonstop into Sydney, but we also have nonstop flights that go into Melbourne, as well as in Brisbane. And starting later this winter, we're supposed to be getting a nonstop flight from Chicago to Brisbane. We have nonstops from LA, San Francisco, Vancouver, as well as Dallas and Houston, and those all going nonstop to Australia.
Awesome. Thank you. Next question. How many days does it take to see everything in Australia?
Well, unfortunately, that is a question I cannot answer because Australia, as I mentioned earlier, is approximately the same size as the United States. So you have to think of it in terms of how much time your clients have, as well as what it is they want to see and do. But a typical itinerary down to Australia would be based off of the fact that the average U.S. traveler has about a 2-week vacation time. And so approximately 14 to 10 days will allow you to see kind of the major highlights. One popular itinerary we have nicknamed the Sydney Rock and Reef Tour. So that would be flying to Sydney, visit the city of Sydney, then fly to Uluru. That's in the red center. It's the big red rock monolith that you've probably seen before. That would be in the kind of outback that your clients might refer to, and then the reef. So fly the Sydney to the rock. That would be Uluru, and then out to the Great Barrier Reef. And you can do that itinerary in approximately 10 to 14 days with travel time to and from the U.S.
Referring to the first question, someone had a comment back. He was asking, he thought that Australian agents weren't able to benefit from the training program, so he was a little confused.
The program that AussieSpecialist.com is for U.S. Travel sellers, but we do have other international sites with the same Aussie Specialist training.
Thank you. Next question is, where can we find your marketing materials, brochures, and flyers, and are they able to be downloaded digitally?
Yeah, so on AussieSpecialist.com, if you have qualified, you would create a username and a password, and then you would need to complete the Aussie Specialist training. Once you've completed that 5 modules and qualify as an Aussie Specialist, there's certain parts of the site that will be available to you. And one of the sections of the site is the travel store. And the travel store is then where you could see all of our marketing materials and you can order them and have them shipped directly to you. And yes, some of those marketing materials are available as PDFs and you can download them. So the travel store with the marketing materials is on the site, but only you would be able to access it and see it if you were a qualified Aussie Specialist. We also have a lot of other tools and resources on the website that can be downloaded as PDFs. So I mentioned earlier, we have over 100 different itineraries. Those can all be downloaded as PDFs. We also have different information sheets and FAQ sheets that you can download that have, interesting facts about, beach safety or driving in Australia or the weather in Australia, and those can also all be downloaded as PDFs.
Perfect, thank you. Next question is, can we have or use the video you used in your presentation, or do you have a YouTube channel?
We do. We have a YouTube channel, so it would be australia.com/YouTube, and any of those videos are available to the public.
Right, thank you. Next question, will we have access to this PowerPoint, and will we be able to download it after?
This particular PowerPoint, no, but I do believe that your webinar is available for rewatching.
Correct. Perfect. That was our last question for today.
Great. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.